Please start by introducing yourself, who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about your life outside the political realm.
Sure. My name is Bianca Virnig, and I live in Eagan. I've lived there 19 years. I'm a mom. I have 3 children. I have an 8th grader, a 6th grader, and a 2nd grader. I'm married. I currently serve on the 196 school board. So I ran 2 years ago against 3 Moms for Liberty candidates. And I'm on the PTO. I coached Lego League up until recently. And I've been really heavily involved in the school district, in the community. I was the celebrity duck in the YMCA duck race.
Wow.
So that was kind of fun. And by day, I am the health and safety director at an education service cooperative called Brightworks. Through the pandemic, I was the regional COVID coordinator. So I worked with all of the schools as they shifted learning models. We answered technical assistance questions, and I worked with MD and MDH. And then for the last 2 years, I've been overseeing a statewide COVID-19 workforce grant to support schools for their school nurses and mental health providers. So my day job is really heavily entrenched in education as well.
You've worn a lot of different hats.
I have, yes, I have. So, that's kind of about me in a nutshell, I guess.
You say in your campaign page that Eagan is one of the best places to raise a family. And what makes Eagan that?
Oh, well, one, it's got great schools, excellent parks. The county system is really great there, and it's close to just about everything. You can get to both downtowns relatively easy. Within a few miles, there's everything you could ever need: shopping, grocery, medical, hospitals. It's got it all. So it's a really great place to raise a family.
And when the opportunity popped up to run for District 52, the seat that was open, were you interested right away, or was it something you had to mull over a bit?
I originally said absolutely not. So when somebody called and said, "Hey, have you thought about this, running for the House ever?" I was like, no, no, because I was so entrenched in school board. And with the push for Moms for Liberty candidates running in our district this election cycle, it was important to me that we could combat that we were prepared to run good candidates. So originally I actually said no, and I work a full-time job. Yeah. So I was like, well, I can't do 2 jobs. And then there was a lot of conversation back and forth. I talked to my husband, talked to my employer, and I talked to the union, the teachers union, because they endorsed me, and I want to make sure we were all on the same page. Sure. And they were all supportive. So as more and more people reached out and said, "Hey, have you thought about this?" And it was appealing because I could take some of the work that I've been doing on school board to the next level. So that was sort of the shift was, "Hey, we love what you're doing here. This is a way for you to do that on a bigger scale." And I was convinced. So, yeah.
And that's one of the questions I had to ask you, too. You do a lot of stuff in the education realm.
Yep.
Is that something you want to work on here? You kind of just mentioned it, but can you be specific about it?
Sure. I think one of the things that has to be addressed is the compensatory revenue issue as a result of the universal meal. So that's a piece. And then there's like weird things, like the school nurse ratio needs to be modernized. It's pretty outdated. And there's some work around LTFM, or long-term facilities maintenance, that needs to happen. And then single-user gender-neutral bathrooms and locker rooms. There's some more work that could happen in that area as well. So those are just some of the things, but yeah, there's a lot. I think there's a lot to get involved with.
What are some other areas of interest that you have when it comes to working on different issues here at the Capitol?
Yeah, so I think the best way to address that question is, what committees did I request, or was I interested in? Labor and industry would be a great fit, I think, for me. I worked for Minnesota OSHA for quite a few years, compliance and consultation. I am a licensed certified accessibility specialist, like the lowest level building code official. And so I work with CCLD, I worked with the apprenticeship program there. So I have a lot of experience with Dolly and labor and industry on a whole. And then the other committee that I requested was transportation, because there isn't a lot of representation from Dakota County on the transportation committee. And that was something that came up from the constituents, like, hey, we need better transportation here as a suburban district. So those areas, but I'm open to whatever.
With all the things that you've already told me that you've done today, I mean, it's a lot. And so I think this question makes sense to ask you. You said in your campaign page that you bring a unique perspective to the work of governing. I can kind of see what you're saying with all these different things that you've done, but can you just expand on that?
Yeah, so I guess one thing for me, as I described it, is I'm really good at the squishy middle, like not being polarizing on either end, but how can we get to the middle to solve things? How can we bring more people to the table to actually move stuff forward? And between being on the school board and as just a parent, working for the state, I also worked for Hennepin County and worked heavily, very closely with their human services, public health. Working through the pandemic, I think I have a lot of unique experiences to bring to this work.
Sure, and just finally, I'm not going to be able to let you go until you tell us what Lego League was.
Oh, Lego League?
Yeah.
Lego League
You mentioned it early on, and I don't know what Lego League is. So what was that, and how much fun was that as being a coach, I guess?
Yeah, so I helped get the program up and running. It's geared, there's kind of 3 levels, and then you end up in robotics in high school. But it was great because the school sent out an email saying, anybody want to help start this program? And I was like, sure, what do I do? And they said, there's a book you can read. And you get this little book, and it's based out of Eagan, actually. Their headquarters first, Lego League is in Eagan. And you get the kids together, and it's team building, and there's, little kind of exercises that you do, and you build the Legos. It's awesome. It's really great. It was actually really hard to give up. When I decided I was going to run and I did a call out to the parents, and we grew the team. There's 4 teams this year, and just said, hey, I need a lifeline. Can somebody take this over? And when you're physically giving all of this over to another parent who is doing fabulous, she's great. I was so grateful that she was willing to take it on. It becomes real. You're like, my life is changing.
Yeah.
I can't do everything. It's something that my kids really enjoyed, so now somebody else is going to take that. So that's when it really felt real, like we are on this journey. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's good.
Well, thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you.